All right, let's do headlines. We're gonna play this Minkah Fitzpatrick sound here. I promise we're actually gonna play it right
Man,
now.
we ain't never gonna hear from Minka, man. Did Minka talk?
It's brought to you by Doral Kia. Doral Kia, choose from over 500 new Kia models in inventory, like the Sportage, Sorento, and Telluride. Remember, when it comes to Kia, the great deals are at Doral Kia. Typically, when there's a cut from a player or a coach, especially Mike McDaniel, that's over like 60 seconds, I would skip it. All right, just pulling back the curtain here, I would skip it because it's just too long, especially if it's Mike McDaniel. I can't emphasize that enough. But Minkah today opened up when he approaches the podium. And this was something we talked about last week. He gets traded here, didn't have a media availability, and then he was supposed to speak, I think, day 2 of camp, and he didn't. And it was, quote unquote, pushed back to a later day. We were kind of all thinking, like, what's the deal with that? He opened up today by giving a statement. This was the statement from Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Before we start asking questions, I want to make a statement real quick. I know I haven't addressed the media or posted on social media. One, I'm not a big social media guy. You ain't gonna see me on there. Period. Point blank. Two, in no way, shape, or form was that an expression of frustration about coming back to Miami. Three, I want to thank the city of Pittsburgh, the fans of Pittsburgh. You guys treated me very well. I enjoyed my time there. I played with some great teammates. I was very unfortunate the way things ended, but it's a part of the business, and I'm extremely excited to be a Miami Dolphin. Again, my silence was not a reflection of how I felt about this team or this organization. I've been here in the building for about a week now, and I'm extremely excited about this season. I think we have a very, very high ceiling. We have a lot of young, hungry, passionate guys, combined with a lot of guys who played a lot of game and have a lot of accolades. So this is an organization that I'm extremely proud to be a part of. And again, my silence was nothing to do with my feelings towards the Dolphins organization. With that being said, I'm not going to take any questions about how the transaction went down. I'm not going to take any questions about Pittsburgh or previous coaches or anything like that. I would like to respectfully talk about this current situation, this team, my players, my coaches, and I would appreciate if you would all respect those wishes.
Yeah, put the hammer down on their ass.
He really did. And that was very well said. He's like, listen, man. And now that we know there was a contract situation kind of, I would imagine, bubbling behind the scenes, Minkah gets a new deal, or he doesn't get a new deal. They kind of reconfigured his deal, and he gets a little bit more money now. He gets the signing bonus, the guaranteed money. I guess it makes sense. Like, that was happening behind the scenes, and he wanted to wait till that was finalized to come out and talk. But he did put the hammer down. He's letting you know, like, hey, my silence was not a reflection of me not wanting to be in Miami. And I have no reason to not believe him.
No, let's be honest. He's saying, do not ask me about Brian Flores. Do not ask me about leaving or coming back. Right. Ask me about the 2025 Miami Dolphins. And that's all I'm going to talk about. And Josh, you're already shaking your head, Josh. He
doesn't get to decide what reporters get to ask him. Those are totally fair questions.
He set parameters, and he doesn't want to talk about it. Now, Josh, you'll respect that, how he came out and set the standards early. I'm not talking about Flores. I'm not talking about leaving. I'm not talking about coming back. I'll talk about camp.
That's fine that he wants to say that, but nobody has to listen to him on those suggestions, and he doesn't get to decide what reporters ask him. It's not like they're asking about his personal life. Those things are very relevant to his journey and his career. Don't ask me about the transaction coming from Pittsburgh to Miami. We're not supposed to ask you about how it all came together, how you return to the Dolphins. Give me a break.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, but don't tell someone you can't ask. Ask.
And would you rather him? Because this is what they teach you to do. I'll be honest, Josh. So when you left the first time, the thing with Brian Flores, there was reports that you and Brian Flores didn't get along, and he didn't want to play you in the right position. And was that the reason why you demanded a trade? I don't want to speak about that. Is that better?
Yes.
That's better than him just saying it up front. I'm not talking about the transaction.
Yes.
100%. Well, I mean, they ask him anyways. So I'll play you the audio. This was a question regarding his first stint with the Miami Dolphins?
How do I look back on it? Just like anytime you look back on life, I think there's highs, there's lows, there's blessings, there's pros, there's cons. You know what I'm saying? But you learn from the blessings, you learn from the lessons, and keep it pushing.
That's what you want to hear, Josh. Learn from the blessings and learn from the lessons. That's what you want to dig for.
It was actually a creative way to ask him about what he didn't want to talk about.
Right.
But yes, give me the cliche BS instead of telling people what they can and can't ask you when they're relevant questions.
Okay.
I just don't like how it comes off, and it doesn't matter what I think, I guess, as far as what the look is. And nobody's gonna play the violin for Chris Perkins not being able to ask him, about how it fell apart with Flores or whatever. But like, to me, see how easy that was, Minkah? You just gave a cliche BS answer to a question you didn't want to ask about. You didn't have to go on a whole preamble about it. Just let him ask. It's coming, and give up the cliche. I don't understand.
And I've said it a number of times in different ways through this week of him not talking, Josh. I've been around Minkah some. He's not the life of the party. So we need to learn from my blessings and learn from my lessons, and just
some pros and some cons.
We just move on.
How many different ways did he say there was some good and some bad in that?
He's not the life of the party, Crowder, but he knows how to speak, right? Like, that's why it is funny. Look, man, like, these guys have been waiting to talk to Minkah for a while, so he knew the questions that were coming, and he, as Appel's saying, he could say whatever he wants. Those questions are coming one way or another, and whether or not they all happen now or whether they happen in the future, at some point, one of the reporters is going to ask him, so what do you now? Maybe week 3. Hey, 3 weeks under Mike McDaniel. What's the difference between head coaches you've had in the past? Mike Tomlin, Brian Flores, and Mike McDaniel. Like, those questions are coming, whether he wants them or not, at some point.
Yeah. Oh, I play under the coach. I really enjoy different styles of teaching, different styles of coaching, and you see the success, in the scoreboard. The scoreboard showed the success of a coach.
Maybe
he just didn't say anything. We get taught how to not say nothing.
For sure. And as he demonstrated, he's fully capable of answering the questions he doesn't want to answer by still answering them, which is why it just comes off so odd to me. Just answer the question the way you did. And we're not even having this conversation.
Very, very, I don't know. You'll take it as just cocky or dismissive. He's super intelligent. He is raised well, strong family, like smart kid. He just doesn't like the antics of. He's like Nick Saban if he was actually an athlete. Like, what's the point of me talking to you guys? Like, you can't help me get an interception or make a tackle. He doesn't like the media. I would say, I'm not speaking for him, but I'm saying, like, being around him with the Dolphins, and then we went to Pittsburgh and we're around. He doesn't like the media. He just loves ball. He's like Michael Beasley with basketball. I just want to play ball. Like, he just wants to play football. He doesn't want all this outside crap.
And I totally understand that. And I know that there are some reporters, not necessarily down here, but in general, who have ulterior motives, and they try and get you with these gotcha questions. But I don't want to do you get paid all this money. Like, Minkah, you could take 10 minutes once every 3 weeks to talk to reporters and answer questions. Like, it's not like we're asking him to perform brain surgery and a heart transplant on somebody. Like, just answer a question or 3. Like, I don't know, you're there for 8 minutes. It's okay, Minkah. It's going to be okay. We're inconveniencing you because you got to spend 7 minutes talking to Baz Jackson. I mean, give me a break.
I disagree with this, but I've heard athletes say it. I have my job without y'all. You don't have your job if I don't talk to you. I think it's wrong because of the fact that the media pushes the fandom, pushes the salary cap, pushes sales, pushes all that stuff. But a lot of athletes think like, I'm great at football. You want to talk to me to get a story. I don't need you to make a tackle. Why am I wasting my time talking to you? I disagree with it, Josh. I swear I do. Yeah. But that's how a lot of athletes think. That's how a lot of athletes think. Like, there's nothing you can do for me other than make me look bad in the media.
And that may be true, and maybe Minkah's had difficult experiences with that in the past. But again, to me, it's such a minor inconvenience for a player who, like Minkah, is already.
I'm sitting in there dancing around, and hell, I'm not even the star of the team. But I know a lot of guys. Ronnie Brown hated the media. Ronnie literally was like, bro, let me just run the ball. Like, why do they want to talk to me every damn day? He just didn't enjoy it.
The thing
you
is,
can also control the narrative if you speak to the media. Like, I know maybe they can sometimes twist it another way, but if he was as firm as answering the questions as he was about not wanting to answer them, he still gets to control the narrative.
The thing is here, I understand Minkah Fitzpatrick not wanting to dive deep into his past in Miami. Like, I get it, right? That probably wasn't a fun time for him. The way that he left Miami was very controversial, especially considering what ended up happening in Pittsburgh. He didn't want to do in Miami. He did it anyways in Pittsburgh, whatever. But the point is, it's natural for a player who left controversially to come back to that organization in a big surprise trade, by the way. There was no rumors or chatter about Minkah Fitzpatrick coming back. That was probably the last player on the Steelers roster anybody expected to come back to Miami. It's natural. He comes back. People are going to be curious. Fans are going to be interested in how that played out and how he feels about it. And then the prolonged silence after the fact led to some questions, which I thought he handled well in that opening statement. But it's natural. Like, hey, these guys are here. They have to find out. It's their job. And look, he doesn't have to answer it. You're right, Craig. He doesn't have to answer it. And he doesn't have to see the benefit in it either. But those questions, to Appel's point, they're not unfair questions.
No, nowhere unfair. I agree with what y'all are saying. All you just said, Solana. The fans want to know. The media wants to know. We're going to talk to Chris Perkins here in a second. He wants to know. Hal Habib wants to know. Barry wants to know. Josh wants to know. Will wants to know. Clay wants to know. Mike Cunha wants to know. Jim Barry wants to know. How does that benefit Minkah Fitzpatrick?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't at any standpoint of his life. He's going to have the same salary. He's going to be a Pro Bowl safety. He's going to go home every night to his wonderful family. I didn't feel that way, but a lot of players do.
I'm not saying here that I don't like Minkah Fitzpatrick or that I think he's going to have a bad season or that he's a bad player. He's a really good player, and hopefully he's able to bounce back and give the Dolphins what they need in the secondary, and he looks like he did a couple of years ago. I just think it's, in general, he's the example at this point, when athletes and coaches react like this over something that is obviously coming their way and only makes it so that conversations like this are happening where we're not talking about him on the field. We're talking about how he's taking a stand. Like, who cares, man? Like, honestly, just do you go on this again, you go on this whole preamble about it, and then you answer the question anyways in a way you could have just done from the beginning.
Well, he was asked he was asked if he's surprised to be back in Miami. Here was Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's very nostalgic. We played here 2 seasons ago, and I remember like pulling up to the stadium and walking on the field, and like I felt like I was like back in time. You know what I'm saying? And now it's a same feeling. You know, just being back down here. Obviously, it's a different facility. It's a beautiful facility, but you know, like I said, it's very nostalgic. A lot of the staff and trainers and stuff like that is the same. So it was almost like I just went back in time. You know what I'm saying? So it's been fun, and you know, my family's down here, so it's good to be back close to them.
How surprised are you to be back here after leaving, you know, by trade?
It's business.
Was that Hal on the question, or was that Dave Hyde?
No, Hal. I know Hal. Hal's my man. I saw him at the Panthers game.
Yeah. And then one more just to wrap this up. This is Minkah Fitzpatrick on, you know, a potential long-term future with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said earlier, I'm really liking the energy and the direction that this is going. I think the culture of this locker room is one that wants to win and win now. But you know, it's also something that I want to earn. I know that was reported that I wanted a new contract, but I just wanted to know that I was going to be here for more than a season. You know what I'm saying? And I got that. And now, you know, I'm gonna go out there, play, you know, all Pro Bowl level, and you know, hopefully earn the respect of my teammates and the organization to have that long-term contract.
Well, they're going to need him to play at a Pro Bowl level. That's for sure. But Man, I believe him when he says he's happy here. Like, it's a different regime. Everything that he didn't like about being here before, I think, from what we know or what we think we know, had to do with one person. That person's not here anymore. So he got his money, he got his guaranteed money, and yeah, man, he's back. He's back where his family's at. I believe all that. I think everything he's saying is genuine. I really do.
And if
Yeah,
you think
I
about
don't
it,
not believe him either.
oh no, but if you think about it, the Flores approach, and actually we talked about it with the Mike McDaniel is the polar opposite of Flores.
Yeah. But I don't think it was Flo's approach. I just don't think they mess with each other because, man, Tomlin has a similar approach. He has the credentials to back it up. But doesn't Mike Tomlin have a similar, like, my way or the highway? Like, he runs things the way he wants to run things. Like, the difference is Tomlin has the credentials where you respect it, and Flo didn't. Flo was just coming from a place where that's the way it was run. He was trying to implement it in Miami.
I think Flo came from a place of employee-employer, where I know Mike Tomlin doesn't do that, especially to a Pro Bowl player. When you're that guy, like Mike will bring you over his house, meet his wife, hang out, have dinner, where Flo had that very much Bill Belichick approach, where do your damn job, and like you're running back one, you're strong safety one, you're not Minkah, you're the guy that comes up in cover three. And I know Tomlin doesn't go that way, and I know McDaniel doesn't go that way. And I don't think Flo's approach, I don't think Flo gets another opportunity because he has no credentials to go with the Belichick way, and that's what it really is.
But am I wrong to remember that a lot of the defensive guys who have played for him, they all loved playing for Flo?
Yeah.
It was more of the offensive guys that had a disconnect there. The defensive guys, everything I've read for the most part, loved playing for him on that side of the ball. And I would imagine, as Flores has talked about since, he's learned a lot and he's a different guy since he was the Dolphins head coach. So you can give credit to him for that.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I don't want to give him credit for
a little maturation.